Here's our dwarven friend down here, making a run across the ice, and all of our heroes have kind of like positioned themselves along the top. I would say it's probably a fairly smart idea to go ahead and get an initiative dice roll made in case it's needed, so we can flip straight into combat if necessary. So, oh my god, you know things are going to go wrong. You're doomed. Radovan's got a decent initiative.
Oh, yes.
Here with a 19.
Yes.
Marlowe has a 14. Let's roll for James Beecham. Mr. Beecham will go on a 23. Gotta be lucky that I wasted that on the dwarf. And the dwarf will go on. Let's have a look, see where he is. Alright. Okay, so you guys have... Beecham's woken you up and he's pointed and he's like... He's making a run for it! There he goes! As he points at the dwarf, who is running with his axe in one hand as fast as he possibly can across the ice. Kind of slipping and sliding as he does so. What do you guys want to do?
Well, I'm gonna...
Technically, Kia, you have the initiative if you wish to act or do something. But if you're not, then obviously just do whatever you guys want to do.
What were you going to say?
Well, when I go up there and see that he's making a break for it without using my turn, obviously I'm just going to be shouting, you know, we need to subdue him but not be near him because of that axe. He'll kill us. And that's what I'm going to be shouting.
He thinks he could just... I'm going to,
Is there bad weather? Like, can we not see far?
Can we not... Oh, yeah, what's the weather like right now?
I mean, it's pretty dark. You know, because it's outside and it's nighttime. It's cold, and of course it's a little misty, but the weather is not like... It's not like hailing it or anything like that, so... You can see as far as you can naturally see in an outside dark conditions.
Okay, so running up to the edge of the cliff there,
right?
I'm just going to say he's not going anywhere. And I'm going to cast, you see me throw up like this red dust in the air? I cast Force Cage.
Force Cage?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
The Bard Cage version.
Alright. Force Cage it is. So Force Cage, if I remembered, it makes like a 20-foot cubic cage, right?
Yes, made of invisible bands of force.
Alrighty. Alright, you dump Force Cage. There is no saving throw against Force Cage. Just so you guys know, the reason that there is no saving throw, and it's a hell of a spell, is because it costs 1,500 gold pieces of diamond dust per cast. So
helicopters. Sorry. Yeah.
That was
That's a hell of a spell.
That's an expensive ass spell there, Kialiana.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like a 20-foot cage made of.
I just got hella gold, okay?
Kind of like magical force.
So you can't.
So basically,
Okay.
a creature inside has effectively has cover, but things like breath weapons and AoE spells and stuff can actually pass through the gaps in the bar because it is in fact force bars as opposed to the other one, which he could have done, which would have made like more like an actual like windowless cell, as it were.
I imagine if it's invisible, would he not know it till he like hit a corner
it's
of
not
it?
invisible, is it? I think it's just a...
It says it brings up a immobile, invisible prison composed of either bars or solid walls. The very top there.
Yeah, I guess it's only like visible if you actually like touch it, and then you might see like a, you know, or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, okay, so potentially, yeah, that works.
Okay.
Well, if that's the case, then of course he will run into the other side of it, and then be like, An Actol and supplies an alarm. Okay. All right.
Wait,
He
what?
glances back and screams, "What the hell are you doing, you idiots? We're under attack!"
That would be why I asked how far
Oh
we
my
could
God.
see.
Oh, why did you see him at the very edge of the?
Yeah, I was like, okay, so if I can't
Oh,
really
wow.
technically see that far, I'm not going to say anything.
Okay. With that, as he says that, you can kind of see him like pointing his axe in a southwesterly direction. He's like, "Look, look,
Oh, we'll be
ice
fine.
trolls!" And you can see a group of large, about almost 10-foot tall, muscular, kind of like they have like ice white hair with icicles hanging off them. Their skin is kind of like pale white. They have long hooked noses like giant icicles, huge big long tendril fingers that again look like a big icicle hanging off of the end of them. Each one is carrying some kind of bone or makeshift club as they are making their way towards the dwarf who is now trapped inside a cage of force. With that, he belts the cage with his axe. As a massive blast of sparks, and flicks of fire as the fire from his axe kind of ignites with the edge of the blade or edge of the cage, and a huge big flash of glowing magical energy erupts, and he's kind of like bounces back and almost falls over onto his ass. Radovan.
As a free action, I'm gonna activate my shield, and I am going to cast a spell that I honestly was planning to cast on this motherfucker, but now that this is all different, I'm gonna cast Sunbeam.
Okay.
So you could ignore that because it's not damage I'm dealing just yet. But basically, for the next 15 rounds, I have 5 beams at my disposal that can deal 46 points
Right.
damage.
So you haven't cast
Doesn't
any
cast it
yet.
right
You're
away.
holding them, and you're gonna fire them off as you need to.
And I'm going to shout down, "Sit on your ass, dwarf. We will handle this. You will see what we're capable of."
All right,
And I'm going to use
Marlo.
my movement to move.
Says the cleric who spent almost all of his spell slots.
Well, the dwarf doesn't know that. You do.
Okay, Marlo, you're up.
Alright, I'm gonna make a jump and tumble down the...
All right. You can safe fall that distance as a monk, so that's no problem. So basically, you can move your full movement and just ignore the drop. So you'll like just leap straight over it.
And how many, about 30 feet?
30
so?
feet. Yep.
Well, I guess it's 40 feet for me, right?
It's 40
is
feet. Yeah, as a monk, it will be 40. Remember, if you run across the ice, you have to make a reflex save not to fall on your ass.
Oh, this will be fun. Okay.
All right.
Let's see, where am I trying to run to? About here, I guess.
Okay. So you're going to sprint across the ice. Give me a reflex save. .22. Okay, despite the slipperiness of the conditions, you're able to kind of just go with it. When your feet slip and slide, you just kind of lock up your feet and allow yourself to glide across, and then just jump off the ice right onto the edge of the rock on the other
That's about
side.
right.
So you'll be probably just a little bit further up than that. There you go. Alrighty. Beecham is going to pretty much go with Radovan. So he is going to move around the side and follow his way down the little path, pulling out his rapier as he does so. Kia!
Hi. I'm gonna... Can you hear me? Yeah, okay.
Banewares, thank you for the host, my dear.
You okay, Jane?
Yeah.
I don't think Jane was
Pull
expecting
down
this
some,
to happen this
some
way.
ice onto these guys, even though they are ice creatures. I don't know, whatever.
Okay. Giant hailstones beat down for one full round and deal 13 of bludgeoning damage and 4 points of cold. It does 13 points of bludgeoning damage to them. There is no save, but each one of them takes 13. All right.
Sorry, I have a helicopter.
They're
Let
coming
me
for you.
close my window.
In a minute,
Sorry.
you're going to see
Your
a shatter of glass, and a guy on a rope's going to come flying in from behind Shaggy.
I hope so.
We'll give Shaggy a second to go ahead and secure his silence.
Sorry about that.
Just like Rainbow Six, exactly.
Yeah, they're coming in.
Alright, Kia. So you dumped ice. So you see a huge shower of ice just drop down like ginormous hailstones and pound into these guys.
That lasts just one.
The dwarf frustratedly, you see him reaching to try to find the force bars, and he's trying to bend them, but to no avail. Radovan.
I am going to cast one of my beams. A 60-foot line from my hand. No, I'm hitting these two. So it's 46 with a chance to blinds.
Alrighty. Straight line. Yep, you can hit those two from there.
It is a 21 saving throw for reflex to take half damage and not get blinded if they pass.
Alrighty, let's roll for the first one. Alrighty. The one in front is blinded. The one behind is partially shielded and obviously is able to still see by his actions. The one in front is just what his left hand comes up to his eyes. He starts to wipe and swat at his own face. So that is 15 damage for those two.
Well, it's 7 for the second one if he passed.
So yeah. 15. All right. Okay. Marlo.
Let's see. Alright, I'm gonna make a flying leap at this dude.
Okie dokie.
I would have moved too. Sorry.
All right.
I have to say.
And what, one attack?
Yeah. If you move, well, it depends. How far did you move?
Oh shit.
If it was just your movement, then you can make a standard attack. Yeah.
It's right in here somewhere. About 20 feet.
Yeah, you can still. Okay, so yeah. So you can make a standard attack on the guy. Neo slipped something into Seal's drink.
I think my hailstones still going though for a full.
It's basically they're falling. Well, it's a full round.
Does that mean everybody's turn or just their?
Let's see. For one full round, so until your round lasts. So basically, Marlo, you're going to take. If you run it, I mean, you can choose not to, but the area is being pelted by hailstones. So if you run into melee range with them, you will take 13 plus 4. You will take 17 damage.
And does that damage occur to them every person's round, or just
No,
once?
just it can only affect any one person once during the round.
Gotcha.
But the hail will continue to drop until the start of your turn.
Oh, so I took how much damage?
If you want to go into melee, you will take 17. But of course, if you don't want to, you don't have to.
I probably would. Honestly, I'm not.
Okay. Then take 17 points of damage, and you get stuck in, smacking one with a good solid right hook for 7. All right.
Can't dodge all my hailstones.
She's not that good.
Okay, Beecham's turn.
I didn't get to make a reflex save against it, so.
Make a reflex save. Yeah. Go ahead. Because if you succeed, you take no damage.
Well, there's no reflex on that.
Oh no, it doesn't have a save. That's right. It doesn't have a
the thing.
save. There is no save against it. because it's just like a huge.
It's just
big,
area.
It's just an air. The whole air is just pelted. It's like trying to. It would be like trying to. It'd be like trying to dodge raindrops, so you can't.
Okay.
So that's right. But that's cool. Okay, Beecham is going to run down to the edge of the ice, and then kind of like start to cautiously begin to walk across it. Kia. Okay, so the ice stops.
Alright. I will not be casting that again. I'm gonna use my turn to kind of get closer. You're out of bed.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
you're
gonna
running
cast a
down
spell
there.
yet. Yeah.
Right. The dwarf is still trying to hack his way through the bars of force with no effect. I mean, clearly he wants to get in this fight, but it's not working, and he's just becoming more and more frustrated. Radovan.
I am going to do one more beam before anyone else gets in my line of fire. The same two again. Not
Okay.
the one that Marlo's dealing with. So I have not many beams left, but another 15.
For another.
Unless the save and the blind.
Well, one's already
21.
blinded, so he automatically takes that. And the one that passed last time fails this time. Okay, so both of those two are now effectively blind. And they take 15 damage apiece. Okay. Good deal. Marlo. You are oh, that didn't really happen. You are toe-to-toe with one of the ice trolls. I didn't even roll for the... I didn't even move the damn trolls last turn, did I?
I don't
think you did.
You know what?
Did Beecham do anything? I can't.
No, they didn't do a darn thing. They got there, and I guess they were in shock and awe of the dwarf seemingly trying to fight nothing. They stopped for a round and looked at him puzzled.
You got the popcorn out. Right?
So there we go.
So as I attack, I'm going to shout, "What are you doing? Let him out! He's never going to trust us."
All right. Holy crap.
20.
That is
Oh, you did.
Natural 20!
there's the first natural 20 of the night. If you bet
You did
on
it.
Marlo to roll the first natural 20, guess what? You just won gold. So, there's your natural 20. And Spook, you were actually... Jane was the favorite for the pick to tonight.
I know,
Spook
you
was
guys
tied with
are
Shagget in
dumb.
second. So, there you go. Only Park and Seal, Romeo's Revenge, and Paul Stones got gold. The Year of Little Faith. All right. And both of those are indeed crits. And the last
Wow.
one is nothing. So, let's see, we've got 26, 36, 46, 52 points of damage. Okay, so Marlo runs over there, gets into a ready position, and follows up with 2 solid blows, a spinning hook kick to the chest. The troll goes flying back, impacts against the side, and collapses down on the ground, no longer moving.
That's awesome.
Okay, good deal. 1 out of commission already. Okay, Beecham is going to use a careful movement to get across to here. Kia,
Yep.
your turn. And bearing in mind,
Just-
these two both these trolls are actually... let me see. Do I have a good icon for that? That'll work.
I'm gonna
Nope,
go
that
over
won't. That
here.
won't work.
Not casting anything.
Okay,
What does that mean?
they're
Blind.
blinded.
Blinds.
Oh, okay.
They're like,
Hi,
oh my god, I
Brock.
can't see!
Headed towards the door.
You heading towards the door?
The dwarf.
Yeah, the door.
Oh, the dwarf. Okay. I was like, the door. I don't think there's a door in that cage. If there is, the dwarf probably opened it up. All right, it is their turn. Okay, these cannot really see anything, so they are going to stumble forward blindly. This one hits the... basically runs over, slams into the force cage, and rears like, ah! Seeing that, the dwarf is going to try to... He kind of like lines up his axe and tries to place a single blow through the bars to hit.
When this one walked by me, was it close enough for me to hit him?
Probably, yeah. I'd say you can get an attack of opportunity on him. If you wish to take that.
Yes, please. Oh.
Okay, yep, you slap him for 11 as he wanders by. Alright, the dwarf is going to try to hit this one. He brings the axe down with one. Oh, wow. Okay, as he does so, you basically see him like line it up, bring it down, and of course he couldn't see the bars until he actually makes contact with them, and you literally see like... as he slams solid right on one of the bars and kind of like just... The shock and wave runs down his arms and he kind of staggers backwards, all kind of vibrating and loss of balance. Such a nice attempt, but failed epically. Alright, Rado, you're up, buddy.
I am going to descend down the hill and move over to kind of where Nirkia is. And I'm going to actually be looking more at this dead troll to see if he comes back, to warn in case Marlo needs to be warned that, the trolls regen or whatever.
Right.
I mean, she probably will be fine anyway, but that's what he's doing. He's doing nothing else.
Okay.
If only one of us had an axe. Oh, wait.
Marlo. So yeah, you've got one decked over to your right, and the other two are making their way towards the cage. Or lack of
Alright.
cage.
I'm gonna fly at this dude.
Alright. Let him have it.
That's just gonna be one hit, right? Because I moved.
Yeah. Single attack. For another 7. Alrighty. Okay, you kick him in the ass for 7 points of damage. Right, Beecham is in position. He is going to, now he's on here, he's going to move over to here. And he is going to try to shank a bitch.
Do it.
He succeeds.
Ooh.
Okay, poising his rapier carefully, he rams it into the rib cage, or the lower right behind the floating rib of the creature, driving it hard in with both hands for 25 points of damage.
Damn.
Alright, the creature is still alive, but seriously damaged by that. Kia!
Seizing the opportunity to not be involved, I'm going to keep walking this way.
Yep, nothing to see here, keep walking, nothing's happening here. Okay. Alright. They are going to react. Okay, this one is going to blindly swing behind him at whatever he knows is to be there with his attack, so he will have a 50% miss chance. He will hit unless this is 50 or under, in which case he misses regardless. No, he does hit. Alright, just kind of like he lashes back with his arm, and without realizing the danger, Beecham gets belted real hard by his bone club for 19 points of damage. Okie dokie. Is he like, ah? You see him kind of like wince back and clutch his jaw, and you see like blood trickle down the side of his lip. Radovan.
Oh.
Oh, actually, I got this one to do as well for Marlowe.
Yeah, you
so
do.
he is going to attempt the same thing. And he will definitely miss. Marlowe's way too quick and agile to be hit by such a backhander. Okay, now Rado, your turn.
If I use my move action to get there, I have to roll a dodge to not slip, right?
You will need a reflex save of 15 or higher if you run across there, yes.
Oh, I really don't want to look like a clumsy dick in front of this dwarf. But Beecham just got hit, and I'm oh fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna try it.
Okay, so you're gonna charge across the ice. Give me a reflex save, DC 15.
Rado.
What does it have to be? 15?
A DC of 15. It's not that hard. It's just
For me, it
for
is.
you. It might be a little bit more.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Is your dexterity, your reflex saves are really
Wait,
that
you did-
bad?
You
Dude,
did a
it's
dex
my-
save, not a reflex save, though, right?
Oh.
It's a reflex save, not a dex save.
Well, it's still that bad. It's +3, guys. Come on.
Okay, so add 3 to that then.
Oh.
Let's take that one.
Nope. I'm gonna take.
you're
the
taking the
I'm
first
taking the
one?
dice roll regardless
Taking
because
the-
it's more fun comedically.
All
Okay.
right, that's fair.
So he falls on his ass and comes sliding to a grinding halt right here
Yeah.
by Beecham and the troll sitting, like, looking up. Beecham's like, raises his arms like, what the hell? And the troll, of course, is unaware of what's just happened. He just spins his head to try to listen to something that he heard hit the ground over there.
I totally deserve that.
All right, Marlowe. The troll had spun around to try to hit you, but had not done so.
Alright.
Got a feeling this troll is about to go to sleep. And that is 3 solid hits. So we have 18, 24, 36.
That's it, 36. Because it's 12 times 3.
So, no, but there's a plus of 6 in there as well. 'Cause it's
Right.
6 plus 12.
So there's three 12s. 6 plus 6.
Right, but there's an 8
It's
at the
12.
bottom. That's a hit as well.
Oh, that was a hit of 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that's 42 points of damage. All right, you have laid this one out. He is down on the ground. Okay. Beecham. Alrighty. This one is spun around to face him. So he is going to make 2 regular attacks. And hits twice. So that's
Nice.
2d6 plus 12 for a total, not a very good total, of 16.
That's so bad.
Alright, the troll is bloody, bruised, staggering, barely able to stand, it can't see, it's kind of like stumbling everywhere. Keeliana.
I gotta make my way over here.
Okay.
Take my dagger out.
Take my dagger out.
Please.
Alrighty. Yep, it's alright. If you dashed. You will need a reflex save because you were on the ice.
Oh, sure.
Of course, she's going to roll well.
You don't know that.
I do. I know how fate treats
She's
me
an elf.
with
She
reflex
has good
saves.
reflex saves. Yeah, no problem. You skillfully skip across the ice.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Okay. All right. So you get over to him, and then you're going to be drawing your dagger as you run. Okay, that's fine. The trolls retaliate. Okay, this one is going to swing at Beecham once more. It will hit, but it has a miss chance, 50%. So if it rolls less than... And it did, so it swings and misses. Radovan.
I'm going to awkwardly get up cursing to myself. All the while.
You raise yourself from the ground or from the ice.
You raised me.
And I am just going to belt it across the back, in the leg, and then maybe with my final hit, if it is a hit, on his groin.
Okay.
Just like an upper. So
you hit it
First
twice. That's a total of 20. All right, it is down. You knock it. You basically hit it behind the knee, knock it flying to the floor, and then it collapses in a slump. Okay.
I'm gonna look at Beecham and say, "You didn't see that fall."
From inside the cave, inside the cage, you hear the dwarf scream, "Now burn the bastards!" Those terrors like to regenerate. They'll be back up and at you in no time at all.
I'm gonna put my my weapon away and take out the dwarven axe I have.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cut off its head.
All right, you decapitate it. Fair enough.
I'm over in the corner with a dagger, like
It's sawing through its neck.
I'm gonna run over here and probably run into the side of this field.
Okay, Beecham doesn't really have anything except a dagger either, and he's not barbaric enough to go and try to saw through a troll's neck.
When I finish, I'm going to toss the axe to him, and I'm say, do the other one.
Okay, so yeah.
Good job.
He decapitates that one. So once he's done that, you see Beecham is basically standing there, holding this troll's head, like, and now what do you want me to do with it?
I will be dragging one over to it, and with the goal of putting them both over here where Kia is still working. And
okay. So once Kia's sawn through the troll's head, probably splattered in blood. It's probably on her forearm, on her chest, little sprotlets of troll blood all over her face.
It's a new look for you. Mind burning the bodies?
Can we... Yes, I'll do that. Let's get them all in the not near the water.
Bloodbender wants Beecham to eat it. Eat it, Beecham. Eat it.
Beecham and I assume are going to drag the bodies with effort to where Kia suggests, so we can burn them.
Okay, where was that? Where'd you want to put them?
Away from the water, is what Kia just said.
Okay. All right, so probably here where there's less snow.
Yeah.
A big pile of troll bodies. So you've decapitated the head, you've got the head separately, and then, okay, what do you want to do? How do you want to ignite the bodies?
I'm going to cast Wall of Fire, but like the circular kind.
Okay.
And get
and just drop it on top of them and incinerate them?
Yeah.
That will work. Okay, no problem at all. So, yep, the trolls go up and are very quickly consumed, or nothing more than a burning pile of troll flesh.
Now to deal with the real problem.
How do we get this down? Kia, did you do this?
And he says, well, the bloody trolls didn't do it.
I had to stop him from running. Why would I?
He wasn't running.
Looked like it initially. Kia did the right thing.
He says,
Why would he run without the gold? That makes no sense.
He could have used the gold as a diversionary tactic, knowing that we'd be in, maybe he didn't need it. He just
7.
I'm not going to apologize for casting this. I thought he was running.
How's he supposed to trust us?
He says, I was running, but I was running to kill them.
Why didn't you wake us up so we could help?
He says, look at the state of you. It wasn't necessary. It's just trolls. I figured I'd let you keep your beauty sleep. I left my gold back there so that if you did wake up, you'd know damn well I'd be coming back for it.
No, we've...
He says, let me out of this bloody thing.
Well...
Decisions.
What is there to decide? He wasn't running.
Well, while you think about that, we're going to take our
the point?
We're going to take our first break real quick. We're trying to take our break some point tonight. So this seems like as good a time as any. Yeah. So he's like, demanding that you let him out of there.
Marlo's yelling at us.
So go right ahead. You don't need me for this.
Right.
Well,
As everyone then shuts up.
Oh yeah, that's right. The last what Kia did was right. I honestly wasn't expecting it, but we can levy this to our advantage.
what do you mean? To our advantage, he was not running.
That's not the point. We still don't know what his deal is with any kind of certainty.
Perhaps we
That
should
he
have a
was going to
discussion
attack
away from the
trolls?
dwarf.
Yes. Beecham, go back to our camp where our backpacks are and relax, drink some wine, if we have any. Marlo, come with us. We'll talk privately elsewhere. How's that sound?
What is there to talk about?
Quite a bit, I would think, considering we are so at odds with each other.
Guys,
He wasn't running. I don't understand what the problem is. If we keep talking amongst ourselves and leaving him out of the discussions and treating him like this, when is he ever going to trust us?
Rediman's walking south-ish away from the cage.
Okay.
He's gonna gesture.
Right, the dwarf is just like, as he sits in there, like just pulling on his long mustache like this, glaring at you through the bars.
I'm going to turn around and I'm sorry. We'll let you go. Just give me a second.
Damn
Yeah.
right, you'll let me go.
alright, I'm gonna walk back. A little further, this place is concave and will echo right back to him.
I'm just gonna move away again. Maybe up the cliffs again.
There we go.
Behind a large boulder, so the sound bounces off of it.
I'm gonna keep a line of sight on the dwarf to see if he
Well,
does anything.
I mean, basically, what with the wind and stuff, it's not as easy to hear anyway.
Okay.
I mean, it's like 50 feet over there, so as long as you guys are, keep it down a little bit, it's fair to assume you can have a conversation that he won't overhear if you so wish.
Okay.
Marlo, all due respect, can you please tell me why you trust him so verily?
When you first met me, did you trust me?
I had a feeling we would get back to this, right? About what I said earlier today. In our exhaustion, it might have been interpreted wrong.
This is completely different than that. When you first met me, you didn't know me.
It's true, but you were tied up by some orcs, and they were torturing or abusing you and the Lady of Arendelle and her maid, or whatever her name was.
And he was a statue in a cave.
Where people, a whole city, has continually called him an oathbreaker. If I entered your place with the King Marcus Aurelian saying the third girl tied up to this noble lady is an oathbreaker, not to be trusted, I would not have trusted you. But because you were tied up by orcs, I did trust you. Implicitly, because you were a captive to bad people that Kia and myself had been hunting for a very long time.
And you trusted the people. All of the other people that you turned back from stone attacked us. He was the only one who didn't.
Oh, that would be me, because I maybe have used a spell on him and made him not attack anyone.
Was it
No,
a
he
charm
still
spell?
hasn't attacked us.
Please tell me
It
it wasn't
was
a charm
not
spell.
a charm spell, no.
It was a charm light.
Okay.
Marlo, I guess
If anything, I attacked him to try to disarm him earlier. He didn't retaliate against me.
that's true, but he threatened to. And it's true, he wasn't trying to escape right now. He was trying to kill some trolls, but who's to say what he would have done after he did that?
But you don't know that he would have done anything else.
Marlo, do you trust me?
Yes.
Then why did you want to beat up an alleged rapist in Rockhelm before I decided to do my investigation, which you constantly fought me on? Remember that? A woman comes to us when we're nobles in Rockhelm and says she was raped, and we go and pursue it, and you immediately just jump the gun and want to beat this guy up. He turned out to be an asshole.
Right, I
Probably
mean, we're not
deserved to
going to
be.
get anywhere with this guy if we don't trust him a little bit.
But that's my point. I have a process. I've been doing this process for a long time. You don't seem to trust my process because you fight me on everything I try to do.
He hasn't, other than what those people have said, he hasn't given us a reason.
The people in authority told us not to trust him. People in authority. These are not just a rabble of guys with a vendetta. This is possibly very powerful, authoritative people we want on our side. They say don't trust him. I'm not going to immediately say, well, fuck you. I'm not going to trust you. I'm going to listen to them because we need them.
Radovan, if you had met me in my homeland and you had talked to the people from my village and from the temple first, they would have told you not to trust me as well.
Why? Because of what happened with you and Saren?
Saris, but no.
Saris. Yes, sorry. I'm tired.
Sauron.
Yeah, there's a story about it. You know, this one big eye thing that he had going.
Sauron.
I wouldn't have trusted him either.
Because I didn't follow the same values and traditions that they did.
Did you ever break a law in Fujinami?
There's not really... Law is a weird thing in Fujinami.
Okay.
It's more based on honor, and it's not as rigid as law here or in Arconis.
Okay.
That's beside the point.
No, it is the point, because law is a very serious thing, in Arconis especially, and possibly in Carvarak, and I want to respect it, much like we did with the Fey Court.
My point is, Radovan, if you took Fujinami's version of law, I might be in the same situation as this dwarf here.
Well, you tell me that now, I might have to turn you in. I'm not going to chuckle. I might cross my arms as I look at Marlowe. Of course, that can wait. Not everything is about trust. It's about what society has told you is right or wrong. Society has told us that this guy cannot be trusted and has done wrong, and we need to arrest him. And that's my whole purpose in life, is to do just that.
Not everything is that black and white.
I am as amiable a Cuthbertine as you're ever going to meet. It can be that black and white sometimes. I saved Reza from the gallows for a crime she did commit, and I was punished for it. Severely. It almost killed Kia here and Reza. And we almost let loose, well, we did let something loose, but we almost let loose something worse.
Would you do it again?
Honestly, no. I wouldn't. Because I know that I can do much better the way I am now than the way I was when I did it.
So you would, if you had to do it again, you would let her die?
Well, that's a tricky thing, because it's Reza and she's a princess, so, you know, there's a little thoughts and whatnot that has to go into it, but I would definitely be consulting my god more before I made such a choice. And that's the truth.
Trust. Maybe you need to trust yourself a little more, Radovan.
I do trust myself. You just need to trust what I do. Now, what Kia did right now was correct. It was a right call. I kind of wish he wouldn't have done it over ice, because, you know, he could break through, possibly, if that works. I don't know how your spell works.
What I'm trying to say right now, guys, whatever trust talk you're having, we gotta move this guy off the ice.
Can we
It's
move?
not so much that
know.
she cast it to begin with. If she thought he was running, that's one thing. It's the fact that it got left there through the whole fight. We could have used him.
Marlo,
And
do you trust yourself? Look at all the
I do
things you have
trust
fought.
myself, but
There were 3 ice trolls. We really needed an X factor in this encounter, in this fight, after what we know we can all do, I don't think we needed to let him loose after it was evident he wasn't trying to run. Because who would have known what he would have done if we were distracted by those ice trolls? Maybe he would have hit you in the back. We don't know.
When you met me, I didn't trust myself in the decisions that I had made in the past, the things that I had said. But now I do, and I'm going to commit to any decision that I make, and I've decided to trust the dwarf.
On what grounds?
Nobody else will trust him.
You do understand that there's a reason for that we have no reason to trust him. He has no reason to show us trust. You would think a person trying to clear his name would try to get people on his side. This guy has been as quiet and as reserved and as we're not deserving as the dwarves that were giving us to run around in the city.
A whole city full of people thinks that he's this awful person. All his friends and family, they've turned against him. Nobody believes him.
Right. And you would think that in a person in that position who could have a sympathetic ear like you have shown him, that he would latch onto it as a possible way of getting more support, right?
Why would, if you can't trust your own friends and family, why would you trust a stranger?
Much like I trusted you when we saved you from the orcs implicitly. Because you were in trouble, and you didn't necessarily ask for help, but we certainly helped you, did we not? It's the same thing. Why doesn't he just shoot caution to the winds? We've been as honest and upfront with him as possible. So why doesn't he show us the other half of the scroll? We can learn what the other dwarves in the city wrote about possibly us and what was intended. But he's kept it close to the vest like a dwarf does, I guess. But it's a ridiculous
You can't get trust without giving trust, but sometimes you have to be the bigger person, right, man?
I am being the bigger person here. This guy is a danger. We don't know what he did.
Sometimes you don't get unless you risk. I'm not afraid of risking.
I have about 5 spells to cast for the night. For the rest of the day. I'm exhausted. I'm spent. I imagine, Kia, you're in the same boats. Right? Do you really want this cage thing? How long will it last, Kia?
30 hours.
30 hours. That's a couple of rests right there. We can get some possible information out of him without him being a threat to us. And we could replenish our supplies in our stores and become healthy.
So why don't you just cast your Mark of Justice or whatever it is?
Because I need to touch him. And something tells me he's not going to put his hand through the bars like someone did
He might.
with the Azure hand.
If you touch him, he might touch you back. Is what he's trying to say. He's worried that he might get touched back.
I'm not doing what Kia did down in the sewers of Corthan, Marlo. You weren't there for that, but Kia had a brilliant idea of shoving her hand through a cell door.
That wasn't what I was getting at. Isn't there something about your god not letting you cast on people unless they say it's okay?
I would ask. That is a
How is
general
this any
practice
different?
and rule in Arconis. This is a little different situation, but I will be honest with you, I still will ask and try to gain his trust that way, to get spells cast on him with his allowance, because I'm a good person, and that's what I'm going to try to do.
A good person's compassionate and understanding.
That is as compassionate as understanding as I can be at this given situation, knowing what we know. I think that is more than compassionate enough. I swear, Marlo, if you visited me in the Cuthbertine chapels, there's a lot more black and white people in this religion than I. I am a godsend to you at this point in time.
I'm gonna glare at him badly when he says that.
Guys.
What?
Stop it. Listen, whether you trust him, Marlo, or you don't trust him, Radovan, he's in that cage right now. And if you have to weigh out the options, there are more cons to trusting him. Not to take sides, Marlo. But we have a bigger goal right now, and that's to be diplomats to this dwarven kingdom or city, whatever it is. And if we want to complete our task and our goal in this entire campaign. This whole our whole goal here, like we have to take this dwarf in, whether we like it or not, whether we think we trust him, and we have to let them deal with it. That's just how it has to happen.
I'm not gonna let them kill an innocent person.
Let's hope that they have a fair trial, whatever dwarves do.
If the Marshal of the Mountain is against him, how can he have a fair trial?
Marlo, that is where I would offer my services in support of what you want out of this situation. I would offer to him to cast spells and find the truth. And if in fact he is an innocent person, I would fight for his innocence because I do not want to wrongfully punish
But you're
people.
not giving him a chance to fight for his own innocence.
No, because we need to have the leverage here, not entrusted in someone we don't know is innocent or not. I know Kia's innocent. I know you're innocent. I know
Did
myself
you ever
and
think that
Beatrice
maybe
is
it's
innocent.
important to him to fight for his own honor
I
instead
think,
of to rely on somebody else?
I think what Kia said was right. And I think there are times you have to set aside you have to put your honor in other people's hands and entrust them with it. And he is failing to do that with us. Because we are sympathetic, at least you are, and I'm not torturing him, I'm not doing things against his will, I'm just reacting to a situation. I don't want to hurt him either. Especially since I think he can fucking hurt us back, and I don't want to die. And I don't want any of
All
you
of
guys
this is
to die.
about Cuthbert to you. You don't ever think about the fact that maybe honor is just as important to some people as Cuthbert is to you.
Well, Cuthbert's my life.
And honor is mine.
You're not being dishonorable by letting us conduct our investigation. I'm just saying that.
But you're not being considerate of his honor.
He needs to prove to me that he is honorable. I see no evidence so
And
far that he
defending
is.
you as you rest isn't honorable?
He could have defended us while we rested, and then run away. I would call that not honorable.
But you don't know that he was going to do that, right, man?
But we don't know that he was not going to do that. We don't know either way.
You're just assuming that he would have ran away. You're not giving him...
Considering what he did to us in that cave, lying to us about his name when we were
Wouldn't
just being
you?
diplomatic.
If you knew there were people out to get you... Radavan, if he hadn't lied to you, if he had told you who he was, what would you have done? Would you have done anything differently?
I would have seen that as a cause to ask for him to trust us more, and I would have been more upfront and less hostile for sure.
No, you wouldn't. If you
I
were
spared
looking for
him from a
someone,
lifetime in a statue.
just
Marlo.
because he told you, yes, my
I
name is...
saved his life from being a statue in a cave with snake women. Are you kidding me?
And you want to take him to a city full of people that will have him dead anyway.
A city of authoritative people who can help us with what we need done. Absolutely.
Yes, it's all about you and what you need done, Radavan.
It's what we need to do in this camp, in this adventure we're on. What we're trying to do. I'm doing this for Arconis, okay? If we can get these dwarves in that city on our side, think of the resources, think of the knowledge, think of the information, the trade, the alliance we can have. I'm not going to jeopardize it off of someone I don't know one way or another is innocent or guilty. It's just that simple to me. I'm sorry.
Well, it's fine if you want to live with that, but I'm not. I'm just going to walk off.
Look up at Radavan. Well? Now what?
$30, huh?
You got two, I mean, you've got two people coming at it from very, very different, strong viewpoints for different reasons.
It's not like I don't want to trust this guy, but I'm not gonna just waste my 1500 ruby dust of a
Kia's
spell
reason to
on
keep him in the
this.
cage is just not to waste money.
You guys need to You either need to trust this dwarf, or we gotta take him back. Either way, we gotta convince Marlowe.
Actually, the first thing I want to do is find out what was on the top half of that scroll.
That's a good start, I
The
think.
seal's been broken. I've already read the bottom half. It had to do with the flesh to stone spell. We need this guy to open up, and that's one way to help. Because if he truly is innocent,
You
he
know,
should be
I
begging for our help, to be honest.
always have spells that can try to help him be nice to us. And I'm not trying to say that in any bad way. I'm just saying it could help.
When you've walked over to the cage, Marlo, are you going to talk? You saying anything to this dwarf? I mean, he's not saying anything. He's just kind of like still sitting there looking, staring at everybody very, very brutally. He's gone from tweaking the right side of his mustache to stroking the length of his beard now. As he's just kind of like looking at you. And you can see, like, every time he breathes out through his nose, a little bit of steam rises with the cold air.
I don't know how to help you.
Well, that's easy. Just get them to drop down this damn cage and let me out.
Radovan has a very strict way of doing things because of his god.
So what, you gonna
He's
leave me in here? For how long? Don't see how this is accomplishing anything. It's not getting us any closer to the city, and it's not getting me any closer to clearing my good name.
I know.
He says,
I know that I can't ask it of you, but please don't think bad of them. They're not bad people.
He says, well, that remains to be seen. Do me a favor, though. That tall, skinny fella on top of the hill. Make sure he doesn't lift any of my gold bars out of my chest. I see him eyeing it.
I promise.
Alright, so Kia, Radovan, what do you want to do?
I'm just going to be looking at Kia.
Speaking of which, we had a vote of inspiration. I've completely forgot to do this when we came back. There's a vote of inspiration for Kia's use of the spell that she used.
It's caused much turbulence.
Yeah, look what you've done, Kia. Look at all the... Even when you try to help, you do bad things.
Yes, inspiration for spook and shag. Sure.
Alrighty, and it looks like that passed with flying colors, so
Yay!
you, my dear, may have an inspiration point. Let me see where the marks are. Where are they? Where are they hiding? Oh, that's the natural 20 counters.
Is the face you're giving me, Radovan, one of, like, maybe I could use those spells? Or, like... Or is it bad?
So Kia has known Radovan for like 3 years now, right? And the charming incident was like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
So-
it's been a long time since she charmed you numerous times to where Radovan actually threatened her life if she ever did it again. That
My
was the
expression is softer than you would expect, given the topic you just brought up. But it's still kind of disapproving.
They-
Like, it's kind of like, that would make life easier, but it's still wrong, and I still remember what you did. But after all we've been through. So, I'm just going to very gruffly say, you're not going to cast Charm in my presence on that man. And I'm just going to turn and walk away.
I don't plan on casting charm. Just gonna follow you down.
Before I walk off to go make sure Beecham doesn't lift anything. It's just Radovan, he fights for St. Cuthbert, and Kia, she pretty much fights for Radovan at this point, so
It's so true. She does. She admits it.
He says, well, we all have our reasons. We all have our oaths to keep. Like to tend to spend as much time as I can around people that have oaths that align with my own. It would seem that your friends don't have one that's very, well, let's just say that I can see us having problems.
Yeah. When you don't think the same way, you don't fit in.
He says, well, I understand. They have been told by a very, very influential dwarf, Skalfbeer Durstock, Marshal of the Mountain, told them that, or told all of you, that I was an oath breaker. Why wouldn't you believe him? As I've said, I understand myself why he believes it, but there are insinuating circumstances, as it were. If I was given the time to go where I need to go, pay for what I need to pay for, and can come back alive, well, then I'd have my name clear. Alright, so Kier and Radovan,
Approaching the cage.
okay,
Cage.
go ahead and move over there then, because you could have gotten there by the time that conversation happened.
As I see them approach, I'm gonna walk off and go see Beecham.
Okay. Right. Well, when you get up there, Beecham is actually, he's not messing with the dwarves' gold at all.
I didn't think he would be.
He's, he's actually just taking, the gold that he has, he's like counting it out into little piles.
Hello, Strong Stern.
He
Are
says,
you warm enough?
oh, absolutely, it's lovely weather out here. Lovely sunny, blistering day. I'm not freezing my nuts off sitting here inside this glowing magical box at all.
Sorry we had to do that to you. We thought you were running.
Well, I understand, but we're all here now, so why don't you just make this thing disappear so we can get back to what we were doing?
That's the thing, since it's already casted, I thought maybe you'd at least answer a couple more questions. Just to help us get to know each other better. You can ask us questions too.
This is like what? What exactly?
I would like to see the top half of the scroll that you have there under your vest.
What'd you do?
I would.
And why would I want to show you that?
Well, it's information that was done in the city that could help us get to the bottom of this situation.
Right, and I already handed you half of it, the part that might pertain to you, showing where it was indeed signed by my brother-in-law, the runesmith, and
that
he
is true.
Gifted you with a magical scrolls to, well, do what apparently you did without the scroll.
You see, we have an opportunity here to get past the pride and this stubbornness by sharing information amongst each other. For you see, they clearly knew you were a statue in this cavern, in this place, and they failed to tell us. They didn't tell us. It wasn't the scroll that broke you free from your stone imprisonment, it was me. And I did it because I was hopeful that everyone who was a stone in this statue in that place was a victim of the creatures that we had slayed to get to you.
Well, let me just tell you that the very first line of the letter said, we knew you could not refrain from reading this.
Oh, that's so.
So clearly they assumed you were going to read the scroll anyway. So they didn't exactly trust you either, did they?
Wait, if that's the case, let's read it. It was directed at us, the top portion. You said it wasn't for us, but it's for us.
And good point. And also to add to what Kia just said, doesn't that prove that we are honorable people who are true to our words? Because we didn't know that that's what it said? We are unaware of this?
Either that or you're rightly and smartly afraid of breaking the seal of such a man that if you did so would get you in all kinds of trouble.
I did not break the... I did not...
No, you didn't. My point being
I kept the seal intact, not out of fear, but out of respect of the laws of the land that I live in, that I'm in, currently occupying. Much like I agreed to an evil verdant prince's fey court for a crime against nature, more than a year ago now. I'm not of the Feywild or the Fey creatures, but I agreed to their laws, much like I agreed to the dwarf laws. And that is why I did not break the seal. You see, there's a lot we can learn about each other and where we're coming from. And at the very least, this cage that Kia has cast helps us get to the bottom of some things without the threat of that very scary axe you have that seems to spout fire. Which is quite impressive, I might say.
He says, oh, yes, it's impressive. You should feel what it feels like when it smacks you.
No, thank you.
You go straight to the violence when we have done anything but.
No, I'm
This
just merely
cage
telling
isn't hurting you.
If you're complimenting my axe, I'm telling you that it does a damn good job.
So, if that is truly what it says and that scroll, why don't you just show us so we can see?
No, I told you that was the first line.
Yeah, so show us. Let's see the rest.
The rest is for us too.
He goes, no. It was just, the rest was for me, but they assumed that you'd read it. The fact that you haven't, well. It was all the same to you, seeing as it was information that was meant for me, I'll keep it to myself.
Why would you do that when
Because
we can
it's
help
private. You're not dwarves, you don't understand our ways.
That is actually very true. We do not. But we're trying, but you're not giving us much.
Well, you're not asking the right questions then. Look,
you? Well, help us out. What's the right question?
Yeah.
you've decided that you want to see the rest of the letter, and I've told you I'm not going to show it. So you can fixate on this all day, or you can move on to something else. It's up to you.
Fine. Let's move on to something else.
I'm gonna look at Kia.
Why aren't you telling us how you're getting your honor back so we can possibly help you?
Probably because, as I've said, and especially now, I wouldn't trust you to come with me. No more than at this point. You can, as I've said before, you probably trust me. So traveling together for 5 days does not exactly seem like a smart thing for either of us to do.
But if you care about getting your honor back so much, wouldn't you want to tell us because your only option would be to tell us in order to not go back to the Dwarven City?
No, that's your opinion that that's my only option. I still think I've got other options. They just won't end very friendly for anybody. So we'll try to avoid those.
You do have other options. Those other options are staying in this cage for a very long time, with us just bombarding you with spells, which is not going to be pleasant, and we don't want to do that. That's another option.
What the what? Ash Half, thanks for the resub. Resub hype. Much love for you, my friend. Spam it, folks. Spam your pants off and hit them with hype.
Not that we want to do that, Radovan.
No, I'm saying outright we do not want to do that.
No, and I don't want you to do it either.
So how can we come to any kind of agreement? What can we do?
Well, that seems to be a bit of a quandary, doesn't it? I already offered that I would go, do what I had to do, and come back. And I reckon it would take me about 5 days. I give you my word that I'll return. Or not, and if I don't, it'll be because I'm dead. And then you can take me, with no trouble, to stand before the Marshal of the Mountain and Lord of the Hole. And then they can do with me as they will.
And you do realize that I would be absolutely fine with this option if you gave me some actual evidence to prove that you are not an oathbreaker who will renege on this pledge. But you being so stubborn to share,
it to you right now,
there is ways.
I would have had a way to prove it to them.
There are ways you can prove it to me. There are many ways you can prove it to me. You can show me that scroll. You can allow me to cast a spell to divine the truth from you. All those would get us closer. And in truth, if all my spells point to me that you are who you say you are and what you are, we would let you go, and we would not follow you, and we would wait for you.
And
you see, but you
I know
are
that the spells that you're going to cast are going to do what you claim they're going to do.
Have we hurt you yet? At all?
But you'd be pretty damn stupid to try. And I think you know that, don't you, lad?
We do know that, which is why we don't plan on hurting you with any spells.
Because we would have already. That's the difference. If we did intend to hurt you, we would have been like that wizard in that cavern, coming from being a statue himself to casting a violent spell at Kia and setting the dogs on us. We would not have allowed this much talk to go by. Only good, honorable
cast it
people.
at me first, and then at you.
Yeah. Trust me, I wouldn't know the difference between one spell or another. I wouldn't know if what he cast on you was the same as what he was fixing to cast on me. Incidentally, there was a second call for inspiration, and you... everybody now has an inspiration point, so inspiration points all round. There you go.
If you allow us to have Radovan cast a truth spell on you, we promise to remove this cage. Is that something we can do, Radovan?
Actually, what we could do is I can teach you the spells I would cast, and I would cast it first on Kia, and you would learn the somatic ingredients and the words I use, and then I would do the same exact thing to you, and you just have to let it affect
And
you.
this spell, what exactly does it do? How does it work?
There'd be a few. There's discern lies, there's zone of truth, there's ways of getting the truth out of you. Of course, I could just consult my god.
And am I, with these spells, I have no control over what you're going to ask me, is that right? You can ask me anything. I know secrets that it would be deemed treasonous for me to tell a non-dwarf.
How would we know to ask you what these secrets are? We don't even know what they're related
but you
to.
seem awfully compelled to want me to be under some kind of ability that you can control every damn thing I say and do.
What if we told you exactly what we would ask you
Well, you
before
can
we
say
casted
that
it?
now, can't you? But that doesn't mean that that's what you're going to do once you cast the damn spell. I'm not that stupid.
No, that's true. You're right, but it was you who did say to us that we're not asking the right questions anyway. I think it's quite clear you know what we're going to ask you. I'm just saying.
That's what else you might ask that I don't want to be
I don't
subject to.
honestly care about anything else except the fact that whether you're innocent or guilty.
How about we do this? Is it possible for any of you to get in here?
It's a little scary, but I know one person who would do it.
I do too.
He says, or, how about we do this? You, and he points at Kia, he says, you come over to the bars. He says, I grab hold of the scruff of your neck and hover above your damn head with me axe. He asks the questions, and if you ask me a question that I don't feel is appropriate, I'll bury this in the back of your skull. How's that for trust?
No, thank you.
Kia has some bad luck with Bard.
Can I do it?
What? You want to put your head in here and have an axe rest on your neck?
Would that be okay?
I don't
Well,
care who does it.
God.
It'll just give me some assurance that, if you ask me anything, you can tell me the questions you're going to ask ahead of time.
Oh my
And if
goodness.
you ask those questions and none others, then everybody keeps their heads on their shoulders. If you ask me anything else, well, even if I have to answer the question, the axe will drop. How does that sound?
Agreed.
See? Look at that. Trust. You trust me, I trust you.
I trust Radovan.
He said,
I trust that he'll ask you only what he tells you he'll ask you.
for your sake, miss, I hope you're right.
Interesting.
So we agree on the questions beforehand.
Absolutely.
You, under the effects of this discern lies, tell the truth, because if you don't, I will know that you're lying to me.
Fine, fine. What bloody questions you want to ask?
Did you do what they're accusing you of doing, being an oathbreaker?
Okay, that's one of the questions.
And you would be happy with that answer, being truthful?
Yes.
The other question I could think of is, if we let you go for 5 days on your little mission without following you, would you stay true to your word and return, having cleared your name, if that is indeed what you want to do?
I suppose that sounds fair.
Kia, any other?
How many can we ask?
A few, not many, but Marlo, any being about honor?
No,
Here's one.
I was hoping that we could go with you because I wanted to see you fight, but
Well, there's one sure way to find that out.
Those little things you say.
How about another question? If you had dispatched the trolls without waking us, would you have returned to camp or fled still?
Fine.
Well, those are the three I can think of at this point in time. That would satisfy my curiosity about the situation a little bit.
So number one is, are you an oathbreaker?
Did you do what
Did you do it? Okay.
by being an oathbreaker?
Do I have to answer
Yeah.
just yes or no, or can I give
Yeah, are they yes or no questions, or?
or can I give a... That question isn't as easy answered as all that, you see.
Fair enough.
Could we say what,
As I mentioned before, I understand why Scalfmere Durstock believes me to be an oathbreaker. He has reasonable cause to believe such, as he
Fair
does
enough.
not have evidence to the contrary. So,
I,
am I an oathbreaker? I'll answer that honestly right now. No. But do they believe that I am? The answer to that is yes.
what I want to know is what they think you did and what you actually did. I want the story.
Yeah, I figured you might, but that's something I can't really go into right now.
would you tell us what the money's for?
Let's just say there's a certain person that knows the true lineage of a certain something, and for a certain price, they may be willing to sign a document to such and provide some kind of official proof of ownership.
All right. Do you guys still have questions? What questions you want to ask?
The way the spell works, since we're being honest and you are sharing a little bit more about your situation, is I will concentrate. A question will be asked. You will answer. If you are knowingly lying, I will notice fluctuations in your presence, if you will. I'll notice stuff in your pants.
I'm getting so ghost hunters right now.
I know, seriously. Your aura will change.
Did you hear
and
that?
I will know that you're lying about the answer to the question.
Do you feel that? It suddenly got a lot colder in here.
Now, I will say this. I don't want to be the one asking the questions. Because I have messed this up many times.
I don't want to do it, Radovan. I need to know the exact question, or else I will mess it up.
So,
Why don't we write down the questions on a piece of parchment?
I don't know. I'll fuck this up. I just don't
I don't
know.
either. He's gonna trick us somehow.
No, it's not that. It's that we will ask a question that'll be
It's a really dumb
vague
question.
and stupid, and
Exactly.
I'm smart enough to know that I shouldn't be asking the questions. So,
Alright.
for the purposes of trust, what if Marlowe asked the questions?
Oh.
I'm the one with my head in the cage.
She'll
right?
probably have a hard time speaking.
Oh,
I'm gonna get out a piece of parchment
Okay.
and be
You're
like,
lucky I remembered the dwarf in front of us'
AKA
name.
the notepad app. Alright, Radovan. Get my little pen. What's the questions? Number 1.
oh my God, we have to do this again.
God, I can't handle this.
I hate this course of action. Marlo, get the man some food. I need to rest anyway. It's late, and I don't have the spell ready, so we're gonna.
Oh. Okay.
We can't do this right now anyway, right? So.
Gotcha.
Okay, I guess I'll get him some food, and then I'll sit down beside I'll bring his gold down here and set it beside the cage so that he knows that it's
Some furs.
So he knows it's safe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna apologize to the dwarf and say, we'll deal with this in the morning. Try to get some sleep.
He says, well,
He's
if you
gonna
wouldn't
cut
mind, can you bring a blanket down here? Sitting on this damn freezing cold ice is a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring him. I'm gonna bring him all of that.
Okay. All right. So you take him blankets and stuff like that, and you're gonna wait. It's been about an hour, so you got 29 hours of your spell left.
Great.
So y'all are gonna rest up for 8 or 9 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spells are gonna come back, please.
Okay. All right. So
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and use my wholeness of.
wholeness of
Body.
body, heal
Okay,
yourself
yeah.
up. Okay. All right. I'll move you all up here then. Unless anybody wants to stay down by the cage to watch.
I am.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay with him.
Yeah, I'll probably do that too.
Oh, lordy, lordy.
Okay, so you're going to keep an eye on the cage, all right? You hand him his blanket. He kind of lays it down and wads it up and slumps down on it.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm fiddling with my spells. There's a lot of them. So,
Alright.
I'm sorry if I'm being quiet. It's not...
I'm just gonna get some rest then.
Okay.
Tonight for 4 hours.
Alrighty, so you guys are going to rest up. Well, that brings us nicely to our second break. Alright, so yeah, Marlo's going to kip down by the cage. You guys are all going to rest up for about 9 hours. So you'll wake up, late morning, fully rested, cold, and somewhat miserable, but,
I would have used the rest of my spell slots to heal Beecham to full. I had
Okay.
a couple seriouses and
he's not that
moderates.
far down, so we'll assume.
And same with Kia. like anyone who needed it.
Okay. All right. So, well, how much? Keo's down a lot, so you better roll. Unless you know you have more than enough spells.
I had 2 cure moderates, 2 cure seriouses, and 1 cure light. So
no, that should be enough. Keo's not that down. Marlo wasn't really down anything, right? No. Yeah. Okay. That's
Not
good.
once I use my whole.
Yeah, you don't need to roll then.
okay.
That's more than enough to. The average of those rolls would have healed everybody fully, so that's cool. All right. Okay, so you are all fully repaired, fully replenished with your magical powers. All right, what do you want to do? So it's kind of like early to not the crack of dawn, but the sun's up and shining down. It's morning.
Before we go down there to see Marlo, since we're all up there, I'm gonna wake Radavan up. Hey, stand it up.
Okay.
Are we really gonna let Marlo do this? She chose it. I don't want her to.
The dwarf is like, you see, he's standing there.
Slept on the ice.
Set a fire. Try to make some good food. Feed the dwarf as well. We're not savages. Beecham can help you. I need to stay up here for a little bit. Just
He's gonna
prepare.
pray to. He's gonna say his little prayers.
Are you okay with this?
down to sleep.
We'll see in a minute. And I'm gonna venture off, and I'm actually gonna prepare. But after I do all that, I'm gonna cast a spell.
Okay, what you gonna cast?
I'm gonna cast Divination.
Ooh. Okay.
So it takes 10 minutes to do. I'm praying to Cuthbert.
Uh-huh.
And I want to know if this course of action with Marlo's head in the cage and us possibly returning to Carvarock without the dwarf is an advisable direction.
So
it gives a useful piece of advice in reply to a question.
Right,
So is this desirable?
yeah,
Is this
basically,
right?
a useful piece of advice in reply to a question. So you need to tell me you need to phrase the question.
This is why I hate you, Gore, because
So
you're.
you phrase the question, I'll roll, and then I'll answer.
Is allowing Marlo to stick her head in the cage for what I want to do with Discern Lies, and possibly, if all goes according to what the dwarf claims, goes according to plan, and us waiting for him in Carvarock, is this a desirable thing we should do, or are allowed to do? I mean, that's basically the question in a nutshell.
Is it desirable?
Yeah, is it something you would let us do? You would let me do that would not break my faith?
Okay, so you're basically saying if we do this, are you okay with it?
Pretty much. Because, the whole, don't follow the dwarf, wait for him in Carvarock, letting him go if the results of this test is in his favor and true, Yes.
From Cuthbert's standpoint, you're saying.
So confusing.
Pretty much.
So
It's not confusing. Will Cuthbert allow me to have Marlo stick her head in a cage to discern the truth, and then possibly wait in Carvarock for this guy to clear his name? Is that good?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, Cuthbert will allow you to do that. You will not be
Without
violating-
punishments. Okay.
Yeah, you're not going to be violating any laws to do that.
Okay.
Because it's not your place to apprehend him. You're choosing to do it on their behalf. You're not breaking a crime by not bringing him to justice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I just
Yeah.
wanted clarification
So,
on that.
you're fine.
'Cause-
You're fine. From that standpoint, Cuthbert will not have a problem with you doing any of the things that you said.
Okay.
You will not be violating any laws or.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure.
I thought you were gonna get a divine sense whether Marlo would be dead in 10 minutes or not.
Well, that all comes to trust, right? That's where the trust comes in, because I do trust Marlo, and she's offering this, so I will trust her with that.
All right.
Of course. So I'm gonna return after some time.
Fucked up trustful exercise. Radovan, what will you have me do as this is happening? Should I...
You're going to be asking the questions.
What? I didn't write them down.
After all that?
No, you never told me them.
Good morning, Strongstern.
What?
Good morning.
We are going to recap the questions that we will ask. I will ask no more, no less, and they will be what you and I agree to. Like we agreed.
All right. And your wee friend here is gonna stick her head through the bars.
I have never presumed.
Grip hold good and tight with one hand and poise with my axe with the other.
Correct. And if the answers to these questions are in keeping with, if you're not deceitful, if you are deceitful, I will know. But if you answer and they're to our satisfaction, we will relinquish the cage and let you go to do what you say you're going to do, and we will wait for you in Carvarak. Now, I don't think Marlo wants that. I think she wants to go with you. But of course, at that point in time, I guess that's another conversation you and I can have about the trust of the group.
How about that? You just brought up an option. How about you wait here, she comes with me, and then we both come back.
Marlo's too dear a friend for me to risk that. I'm sorry, I will not just let her go, even though she is more than capable.
What about if she brings that wee scamp of a fella up there on the top of the hill with her as well?
We need Beecham as well, but we go as a group or not at all.
Fine.
Okay. So the first line of the scroll that you said, recite it back to me what it said, please. What you claimed it said.
Oh,
yes.
So, yeah, it was from Doingald Cargill, and he put at the very top, I knew you could not refrain from reading this.
No, you could not refrain from reading this.
Yeah, he believed that you were going to read the scroll, regardless of being told not to.
Okay. So does the first line of the scroll from Dune Cargill say...
Are you casting your spell yet?
No, I'm preparing the parchment.
Right. Just making sure. I want to know. 'Cause...
So the first question I will be asking you under the effects of the spell, which you need to let take effects. You can't resist it in any way, please. That kind of defeats the purpose, right?
Right.
The question will be, does the first line of the scroll from Doongold Cargill say, I knew you could not refrain from reading this? It's like a baseline of truth, correct?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. I'm writing shit down because if anyone comes up with another idea, please.
That they're going to get it wrong.
Kia, Marlo, you're welcome to correct me or take over from this.
I'm thinking about it, don't worry. I like that question.
Okay. So the second question we had about you being an Oathbreaker was tricky because they think you are and you say you're not. So, but the question, the way I phrased it last night was, do they believe? I mean, it's complicated. We need to simplify it, correct?
Right.
Yes.
So, I guess the next question is, what's honor to you, I guess, is a question that I have. Just not that I will ask you under the effects of the spell, but just... I'm confusing myself. This is where it gets tricky. So you think the question, are you an Oathbreaker, is too vague a question?
Well, you can ask, do I think I'm an Oathbreaker? Or you could ask, do
Are
they
you
think I'm an Oathbreaker? If yes, see...
Can't you just say, what did you do?
Well, that would be...
Yeah, I'm not going to answer that.
Okay.
That better not be one of your questions.
It won't
Nope.
be then.
That's what we're doing right now. This is the practice wedding, if you will. This is the reception.
The rehearsal dinner.
The rehearsal dinner.
Practice wedding.
Practice wedding. I don't know these words. I'm a New Yorker. Okay.
They don't have weddings in New York, folks. They just bash them over a club and drag them down an alley.
How do we frame this matter of you being a possible criminal in a way that's satisfactory to us both without you divulging any information?
Well, as I said, you can ask me if I think I'm an oathbreaker or if they think I'm an oathbreaker. But I already told you that.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good question, because obviously they think he's an oathbreaker or they wouldn't have sent us, and then...
Obviously he
But
thinks he's
obviously,
not. So he's
I
not
don't
lying.
believe I am.
Okay.
What
Maybe you
about
should
what
ask
you were
yourself,
talking
what's
about?
the point of this line of questioning anyway?
No.
Why would the marshal want to frame you?
Well, he doesn't want to frame me.
That's not the issue, because
He
said
believes
the other-
I've done what he believes I've done. I just didn't do it.
Oh.
and what you did is a crime. What he
It
says you
would
did
be
is a crime.
if I did what I was accused of doing, yes. But I didn't.
He did say that we were sent here in the letters. It's supposed to say to free him and let him go because somebody is a brother-in-law or whatever. We could see if that's true.
Oh, are you really the cousin of the runeskeeper, correct?
It's his brother-in-law.
Was it the runeskeeper or the high priest?
It's the runeskeeper.
I Dunagan's Cargill. The runekeeper, aye, he's my brother-in-law. Well,
Dunadan Carl's the high priest, not the runesmith.
Okay, so about the Oathbreaker thing, I mean, yes, we could think about that with the third question.
Well, didn't he give us the question? Did you do what they are accusing you of?
Yeah.
Did you do what they're accusing you of?
you can ask
Is
me
that
that.
acceptable?
Yeah, that's fair enough.
What? We need to
Did
specify
you
who
do-
they is.
Did you do the crime the authorities in Carvarak is accusing you of?
Yep, that's a perfect question. You should definitely ask me that.
Okay.
Is he smirking at this, or is he kind of like...
He seems to be somewhat amused for this whole shenanigans and line of questioning that's been going on this morning anyway.
Are you an honorable man?
That depends on who you talk to.
Yeah, that's, you're gonna send me his
Because
definition
obviously,
of honor.
those that have labelled me an oathbreaker don't believe I am.
That comes under what's the definition of honor?
Okay, so how's this? If we release you and let you clear your name, will you return, if able, to Carvarak
That's a good question.
without us having to escort you or be with
No
you?
problem. I've already given the word that I would.
Okay, I hope you're parchmenting this down with your keyboard. Okay. Any other question?
If we release you to clear your name, would you return to Carvarak? What's the rest of it?
Without us having to escort you.
Okay.
Without us escorting you. Not, yeah. Any other question, Marlo?
I don't think so.
Have you lied about anything the past 24 hours? This conversation.
Well, his name, he did say, was a lie.
Besides your name. I'd like to know.
Oh,
You can ask me that. Haven't so much lied as just refused to tell you stuff that you've asked.
well, that would count as a mission indiscernible. I mean,
It's not a lie,
I would
though,
pick
is
up.
it?
If you've
It's
asked
deception.
him something and he didn't want to answer,
didn't
you
exactly
just straight
try
out
to
told you, I don't want to answer.
Yeah, I didn't tell you any kind of skullduggerous
Okay.
diversionary stuff. I flat out said I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
Why do you need the gold? No.
No.
You already told us that.
Not gonna answer that one. All right.
Final question that'll satisfy me. Had we not put you in this cage, if you had dealt with the trolls without us being aware, would you have then come back to camp and been peaceful with us, or would you have fled? Would you have fled last night, basically?
That's fair
If
enough.
given the chance.
Yeah, you can ask me that. Oh, and is that they're going to leave 5,000 gold or 10,000 gold in bars?
Well, that's true.
On the top
That's
of the
true.
cliff there.
So how about perhaps another? Would you have tried to escape us? Instead of that question, would you have tried to escape us if given the opportunity with the golds in your possession?
That's fine.
And would you have? Well, you've already said you would have harmed us, so I guess that's a moot point, right? Because you said you would. All right, I'm happy with these answers. If they are,
Great, let me out then.
I'm happy with this if it's satisfactory.
These questions is what he
These
meant.
questions.
Well, let's get on with it then.
Itch, scratch, whatever.
Come here, lassie. Take
Take
your
care
head
of
through
yourself,
these
Marlo.
bars. And with that, he kind of like runs the axe along the top of the bars so that you can like see them glow momentarily, so you can see where they are.
Marlo, are you sure you want to do this?
I'm gonna kneel down and stick my head through.
All right.
I'm gonna,
No.
you know, have my fingers like this in case I need to do some spell casting.
Well, basically, seeing as your clothing is so loose, what he actually does is he takes his left hand and says, "Hope this doesn't hurt too much." And he kind of like digs his hand into your hair and then like wraps it around into his fist so that he's got like
Jeez.
a whole big clump of your hair, like all the way to the scalp. And then he
Okay.
kind of like just gives it not a really forceful, but a slight tug just to make sure that your shoulders are all the way to the edge of the bars because he can't see them.
I'm gonna chuckle. Most of the monks where I come from tried to tell me I needed to get rid of my hair, but it's another reason I was an outcast.
And then with that, he basically lifts up his axe, and you see him, and he just goes like, blows on it, and it illuminates in flames as he stands hovering it. He's not putting it right next to your neck because, I mean, it's hot. You can feel it. That's real fire. So he's holding it probably about 2 feet above your head. Just enough that if he just brings it down good and hard, he can get a good hefty whack for a decapitation.
Alright, I'm gonna close my eyes and concentrate on how, like, his movements and everything, how he feels.
All right, okay. He's like, right, you ready?
Fuck it, let's do it. I am going to cast Discern Lies.
Okay.
And I'm going to be concentrating as Kia. Now it affects everybody in this radius, but I am only casting it on him. So
Okay. All right.
Is it in effect, Redovan? Will I know?
begin, Kia.
Are you resisting?
No.
Brandon?
Ask whatever question you want to ask.
Okay, Randon Strongstern. Does the first line of the scroll from Duengard Cargill say, "I knew you could not refrain from reading this"?
It does.
I look over at Redovan. Is it right?
Concentrating. Do I discern any lies?
No, he seems to be telling the truth.
Okay.
Hey.
He's just
Question number 2. Did you do the crime the authorities in Carverock are accusing you of?
like, yes, I did.
Gonna look at Redovan a little confused.
Probably right. Yeah.
He says, but as I said, that's a difficult and complicated question to answer. It's not as cut and dry as that.
Would you like to expand on that?
Well, as I said on the face of it, yes, I did what they claim. But then, if I had the information, and if they had the information, they'd know that I was allowed to do what I did. So therefore, it wouldn't be a crime.
So I'm just gonna say stick to the script.
Discern any lies yet?
Did I?
No.
I think Gord would tell me if I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question number 3. If we released you to clear your name, would you return to Carve Rock without us escorting you?
Oh, hell no! And while we're at it, you might as well drop this cage before I lop this bitch's fucking head off! And then he kind of like grins and hovers the axe right over Marlowe's head. And that was the truth. He wasn't lying.
With that, I'm gonna abundant step over here by Radovan.
Okay, so he's like... and you like literally as you vanish, you see him like bring the axe down and it hits nothing except he goes, "Let me out, you stupid elf!" And then he grabs hold of the side of the bar and just goes, "Ah!" and starts losing his fucking mind.
Interesting.
Kia, you have my permission to bombard this fucker with as many spells as you can until he's unconscious. I will heal him so he won't die. Oh, I don't care anymore. Everything that's happened has happened. You have my permission to lightning bolt his ass until he's down on the ground and unconscious.
He says, "Yeah, go on right ahead. Cast your spells. You'll eat every damn one of them with this axe."
Why don't you ask him more questions? He's still under the spell and there's nothing he can do about it.
What did you do?
"I stole this fucking axe from the Lord of the Halls."
You did what? Why?
He said, "This should have been mine. Under different circumstances, I would have been Marshal of the Mountains. Me!
Ah,
The
so
Marshal would have been Rannan Strongstone, but no. No." He says, "Well, I might not be Marshal, but I've got the weapon that can claim allegiance and rally others to my axe. And I
While
can
he's
fight for
talking,
my
I'm gonna
position."
pull 2 shuriken out of my pocket and aim right for his eyes.
Oh shit.
I am not seeing this. I would stop it if I knew fucking Marlo was doing it, but I'm looking right at him, so yay.
All right.
Oh.
Good times.
Why would
Good
he
talk,
say-
guys.
Okay. And I would be casting a spell as well.
All right. Okay.
Raining hard.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit, it is. That was some serious rain.
Should have just mute myself.
That's real rain.
This is
Yeah.
where we now find out that Jane actually doesn't live in an apartment. She's living in a tin shed, and the roof is made of tin. That's why it's so loud. That's actually just that's actually a green screen behind us, folks. That's just so you know.
Yep. Let me know whenever we can.
Okay.
I guess who's first?
Well, I guess technically you might want to roll initiatives just so that you know where and how you guys are acting. So go ahead. Not that he can really do anything at this moment in time.
Wow. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yay! Nice one, Jane.
likes.
Jane with a 4. Marlowe 23. And Reda with an 18. Beecham's up on the hill, so he doesn't really matter. Alright, so Marlowe, if you're planning on flinging shurikens, like just suddenly like, you can go ahead and do that, or if you want to hold off, you can. It's your choice.
No, I was aiming for his eyes. If he's blind, he's not gonna be very good with that axe, I would think.
Probably going to be pretty hard to hit him in the eyes because he does have that. He's got his helm on because he's wearing plate.
Oh,
So-
well, I'm aiming for him anyway.
You can.
Well, also, there's bars then. We can't see the bars, but they are there.
Yeah, but I mean, technically, he can still be hit. But of course, if it,
So, I am going to, on my turn, I'm going to back up. When it is my turn.
So are you throwing your shuriken?
Yes.
All
This
right.
isn't gonna have any sort of style that applies to it, so
Just
let me...
chuck them.
It's raining so hard.
It really is. That's serious. All right. One of them hits him, and it kind of like gasses his face, does 5 points of damage, but it's not going to blind him.
Damn.
All right.
All right. Let me. Where's my Oh, let's see, hitting
So
for 5.
excited.
Okay. Where are we at? Rado.
So I am actually going to move slowly here, and I'm going to say this is more for keeping him away from us than anything else, and I'm going to cast Repulsion.
Okay.
What?
And Repulsion is an invisible mobile field surrounds me, and it prevents creatures from approaching me. So I don't want him. I want him to have to fight to get in range of me if he ever breaks free from this cage, which I don't think he will. But
Yeah, he has to make a willpower save to negate that if he wants to try to move closer to you.
or Marlowe or Kia, because it's kind of like, just this general direction,
Let's see, range 150 feet, radius emanating centered on you. So, let's see.
I mean, they can attack other things, but
Yeah.
approaching Marlowe's technically approaching me, so that's why I backed up.
Yeah, he can't move forward in your direction, basically.
Right. And I'm going to say, as I cast it, I'm going to say it to them. It's like, it will be a struggle for him to get close to us if he does seem to break free from this cage, which I don't think he'll do, but
How
you
would
never
that
know.
happen?
All right, Jane.
Alright. I'm just gonna say fucker, and I'm going to try to cast Feeble Mind again on him.
All right.
I really want it to work so badly. This
Let
is
me
so
just
awesome.
double check to make sure I get his sage
I think
right.
it's 19, so
Yeah.
yes sir. God,
I didn't actually write
I
that
want it to
down.
work.
And it would be...
A will saving throw.
Yeah. I just
Okay.
I didn't write down what his will save is.
I
Stupidly
hope
enough.
it's. Let's just make it 0.
Will save will be... he gets plus 6.
That's okay.
20
So
plus-
19.
Actually, no, he doesn't. He gets 6 plus 8 because it's a spell.
No!
Sorry, dwarves. Spell resistance.
Damn it!
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
He passes.
That'd be cool.
Alrighty. Okay, he smashes the side of the cage with his axe, trying to break out of it, but he can't.
Okay.
It's like
Are you really that strong, or is it all about in that axe?
he says, "Why don't you drop the damn?" He goes, "Drop the damn cage and come and find out for yourselves, you cowards."
No,
I'm the
thanks.
coward?
Aye,
You're-
it's easy to stand there bombarding me with spells when I cannot do nothing. Drop the cage. Let's settle this properly.
Yeah, properly would be if you'd put down that enchanted axe and come at me with fists like a man.
He says, "I'm not a man. I'm a dwarf. And besides, that would be stupid."
You're a dishonorable fucker is what you are.
Just like us letting this cage go would be stupid. Kia, I said it before, I'll say it again. Light this guy up. Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt until he's on the ground smoldering but not hopefully dead.
He says, "Do
Then I
it.
can make my move.
Go
Not
on. I
hopefully
dare
dead.
ya." And he kind of just
Dare
holds
me.
the axe in front of him like
Interesting.
this. You sort of see
Okay.
the big axe is like hovering, like shining in front of him.
Let's back up. Let's back up, guys. We'll probably back up. Probably don't stand on the ice.
I'm actually gonna, I'm gonna keep an eye on what's going on, but I'm gonna go over here to Beecham to let him know, like,
Beecham's pretty much figured out what's going on at this
yeah,
point.
I mean, he's watching, so.
Alright. Yeah, once we're at a fair distance, I'm going to be casting Chain Lightning
Okay.
inside the... Oh, syntax error.
And
That's
he
fine.
needs a syntax error. Oh, sorry, your spell failed.
Shit, it's really
Your-
not working right now. What is
Your
what-
magic blue screen, so you don't get to cast any spells.
No! Guys, it's not working.
What's not working?
My
You gotta click
spell.
yourself, man.
I did! It's saying, some weird... Okay, I think there's like an extra... Like,
Somehow
Something
messed
in
it
it.
up here.
yeah, it's messed up. I'm just gonna roll for it.
Okay.
So, 15d6. So, good luck, everybody else.
All Alrighty, 43. He dives to the side of the cage, passing a reflex save, so you hit him for 21 points of damage.
How can he... Jeez.
That's 20 foot, don't forget.
Okay, question. Nope, never mind.
Yeah. As long as he has room to get out of the... Physically get out of the line of fire, because that was lightning bolt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was, chain lightning.
Yeah. So that's kind of like, it's not a big area of effect spell.
Right. I just want to know what happened to my spell. Okay, I guess I'll keep blasting it until it looks like he's like almost dead.
Go on then. Let's see who runs out of hit
Let's
points
just
before
see what
spells.
happens.
Alright.
It's kind of cool with the storm you have, Jane, that you're in this.
Passes, so he takes
Come on.
28.
How's he looking?
He's a healthy motherfucker.
Okay. 50.
How you feel there, buddy?
I mean, he's basically, it looks like the scene from Return of the Jedi. His kid just goes... just lightning bolting this guy.
You're like such an asshole.
Well, he's wearing metal and he's standing on water. So.
Yeah, but he has a magical axe that's probably doing something.
What is a magical axe?
It's like charging it up or something.
What is your save, DC?
For this, it's, let me see, level 6, so it's 20.
Okay, yeah, he failed that one, so he eats that 50.
Hey! That's good.
Alright, he is definitely looking worse for wear, but he's still standing.
I'll do another one. Okay. How's it going in there?
He fails that one, so 49. He is out cold.
Shit.
Well, he hits the ground. He could well be dead.
So I'm gonna say
him.
telekinesis the axe out of his hand, out of the cage, and give it to Beecham.
I can't. The axe is.
Just diagonal it or something if you can.
Okay.
Just try.
If the axe was, that's going to be tough.
Well, if we let Marlo's head be able to stick in the cage, then the axe should be able.
Well,
It depends.
Doesn't he have
The
a
axe
big
is
head?
about that wide at the head end.
What?
Yeah, I mean it's a battle axe. It's like this big or wide. That's not gonna. If that would fit through the bars that way, the dwarf could have done.
Turn it. Is it not?
But
skinnier?
yeah, I mean either that or you can stick your hand through and take the damn thing. Either way. So if
I mean, he's.
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean you might trying to do it. It might bounce a few times, but eventually you'll get it through there.
All right.
If
Well,
that's what you're trying to do.
I'm just gonna walk up and try to take it out of the cage if
Okay.
he's really out cold. I don't want him to be faking his death right now, though, so I'm gonna double check on that.
Give me a heal check.
Nah, never mind.
well, I am gonna approach. Can I get his pulse? Like, can I? I mean, is he?
You can you can take off a gauntlet and check his wrist.
That's what I'm gonna do.
All right.
I mean, I'm gonna try as much as I can to see how out he is. So,
Give me a heal check.
Dead.
He
is
is alive, but his pulse is very faint. He is close to death.
okay, Kia, try to get it.
All right, I'm gonna reach my hand into the cage, as I've done many times in my life.
Yeah, you can take the axe. That's not a
I'm
problem.
gonna take the axe.
Yeah, as I said, even if you want to do it with telekinesis, you can. It might just go doink, doink, doink a few times
I'm
until
not
it
gonna
fits
waste a
through.
spell on that.
So his close to death, like a 10-minute spell cast. I mean, can I get a 10-minute spell on him off before he bites the dust? I mean,
You think that is unlikely?
Well,
I mean, he is low. He is close to dead. So
stabilize him and knock him back out.
Take the axe and tie him up.
yeah, I could. There's a fucking spell I never cast because why would I? But
there's a very useful spell for things like this exact scenario.
Ooh, what is it?
well, stabilize a cure minor wound. Just give him 1 health point, so he doesn't bleed out. Right? It's a cantrip.
Mm-hmm.
So
There's another spell, but I don't know that you have it.
I don't think I do. But I have that, which will stabilize him.
Right.
At least for the next hour. So I cast Cure Minor Wounds.
Okay. So you're going to go ahead and do that to stabilize the guy.
And then I'm going to touch him really good.
Yeah.
And I'm going to turn to Kia and I'm going to say, I'm sorry that it's come to this.
And then he
Don't-
attacks Kia. Yes! No.
I'm going to say, don't think less of me, because this is a last resort kind of thing.
Okay.
And I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes casting Mark of Justice.
What is that?
It's
basically,
basically
he
magically tattooing him.
You'll have to get that.
Mark.
You'll have to take the cage down to do that,
Oh, okay.
because you've got to be able to like physically get to more than just a finger.
Right. Fair. Just touch
So,
him.
are you letting the cage down, Kia, for him to do it?
Do I want to do that yet? I'm gonna say Radovan. I could take down this cage. Just
Right.
yeah.
Beecham, Marlowe, rope. We need rope.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe not. I mean, you don't have to physically do it. It's magical. Nah, I'll say you can do it. As long as you can physically touch him. It's a touch effect spell, so
I know. I just
yeah, that's cool.
okay.
Okay.
So for the next 10 minutes, I'm basically going to be saying a bunch of things like, on Cuthbert is decrying with me as conduit that you will not harm any of us. You will come back with us to Carvarok. You will not try to run away. You will not try to deceive us. You will not do anything criminal that I consider criminal with these things. Basically, just be a little prisoner bitch without being handcuffed. That's basically what I'm saying.
Interesting.
Well, you have to specify a criminal behavior.
Well,
It can't
hurting
be
us.
all. You can't like list everything. You've got to choose a criminal behavior.
One.
You can't like give them every possible criminal behavior in the list with one spell. So you can say you cannot steal, you cannot murder, you cannot aggressively attack anybody. You can, but
Well-
you've got to specify.
Aggressively attack is probably the safest one because it kind of covers the murder thing, right?
Yeah, well, and it
Trying to
does.
run away.
That's
Well,
why
if he can't attack us, we can always stop him from running. So
yeah.
That's true. So you
Okay.
cannot aggressively attack Kia, Marlowe, myself, or Beecham.
just say anybody.
Anybody. Thank
Then
you.
a really bad dragon on land, and the only person that can beat it is him, and he won't.
I can't.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. All right.
And the mark is going to go right on the forearm where the marks of
you.
entry were. No, it is. It's totally doing
I
that.
love
I
it.
took off his helmet and put it right on his fucking forehead, right between his eyes.
And then I'm going to
Big
say
F for
you
fornicator.
can remove the cage. You can remove the force cage. We are going to tie him up.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
And
so you want to tie him up?
I am going to take the scroll and read it.
Okay.
Finally, I forgot. Okay, that's awesome.
All right. It says, I knew you could not refrain from reading this. The Oathbreaker you seek is not going to be a dwarf as you would expect, but instead...
Oh God.
Oh, hang on.
A
Why
A
is this not-
statue or something.
Please say a statue. It'll be a wizard.
It's not. Okay. But instead, a statue. He will not come willingly
Okay.
to Carvarok, but return he must to face justice. Your visit to the runesmith will have yielded more than just information. If you did as instructed and gave him this scroll, he will have imbued it with the runes to help you with your dilemma. Read the runes on this scroll to change the hardness of your situation.
Yep. And that's the stone to flesh.
And then underneath that is the part that you already have, yeah.
Because honestly, if I had known this, I would have just dragged the statue back with me.
I know. That's smart.
The fact that we were honorable people kind of really sucks. Because
I can't believe
Alrighty.
they gave us something they expected us to read and told us not to fucking read it. Fuck dwarves, man.
Hey, maybe it's a test of your morality or your trustworthiness.
Yeah, right.
so I'm going to say to Beecham, you're going to hold on to that axe with your life. And you're going to keep as far away from this man as possible, because I am
What
going
if
to...
the axe is cursed and corrupted and now Beecham's gonna go... Fuck.
Okay, well, I mean, the axe isn't flaming anymore, so Beecham is, like, holding it awkwardly, like, as far away... The axe head he's got, like, dragging it on the floor down to the side so that he doesn't accidentally catch fire or anything. He seems very nervous about it.
I'm gonna wrap it and tie it with fur so that he doesn't accidentally hurt himself.
Okay. And then I'm gonna say to Kia Marlowe, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna revive him just to the brink of consciousness and no more. He's gonna be hurt and suffering on this walk back.
You're gonna force march him, like make him walk back himself and force march him?
I'm gonna hurt. He's gonna be like on less than 10 health because fuck this guy.
Speaking of, like, Marlowe, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Let's tie him up and...
That's all I'm gonna say.
Right. So Beecham, as you're
Not
doing
gonna
all
say I
that,
told you
Beecham
so.
comes down and says, the gold bars, let's tie those to his back and make him carry those back as well.
Hey!
And that'll be a part of the gift. It'll be like a gift to the authorities.
No, that would be foolish. No, we can stash the gold outside of Caravan.
Beecham. No, we have our we got our no. Those bars.
I don't want to have to carry that stuff all the way through.
The bars. Okay,
fine.
like the bars go
bars.
back to Carvaric. The coin we can keep. Yes.
Yes. I won't let go.
Would you in real life?
Beecham, man. The bars is for the city. What we took, the coins, we can have.
I'm sure if they knew the trouble we went to, they'd let us keep them anyway. So I don't feel bad about it.
It's the cost for not telling us outright. So I am going to. Honestly, I'm going to cast a whole bunch of cure minor wounds until he wakes up, if that's possible.
Okay. Well, he was on -9, so you did one is on -8.
Two.
So you need 9 of
4,
them. Well, 8 of
no,
them.
I don't have enough. So I'm going to do a cure light wounds.
Okay.
It's okay, if you overheal him, I'll just slap him a couple times.
13 points. Okay, so
Perfect.
he's on like 5 hit points.
And tied up.
And yeah, who's tying him up and how are you tying him up?
Let's talk nuts. Alright. Sorry, I can't talk nuts. Beecham's gonna tie him up, I guess.
Or Marlowe, whoever.
Only he'd have known that such a thing as Abundant Step existed.
I know.
I'm pulling off all of his armor before you bring him to.
Okay, so you're gonna like haul all of that. Okay, and underneath that, basically, he's just got a gambeson on under it, which is like a dirty brown, filthy, padded jacket with holes in it.
Okay, that's what he can wear. He didn't need the plate mail anymore.
You're gonna carry that, Marlowe, because I'm.
Hell no, and I'm gonna throw it into the snow.
Okay.
He can stay there.
So
He can
after
rust.
all that is done, I'm gonna apparently heal him to 5 health.
Okay.
And I'm gonna immediately like sit on top of him with Marlowe, and basically crook his arm so he could see the mark I put
All right.
when he comes to. And I'm gonna say, you attack us in any aggressive form. This is gonna activate, and you're gonna be in a world of pain and possible death.
He just goes and spits a huge big loogie at you.
I'm gonna
Nice.
slap the shit out of him, non-lethally.
Yeah, Marlowe slaps him once. Broken neck. Oh no. Now we've got to drag him back. Okay.
I'm just gonna wipe the spit off my face.
Okay. Beecham's like, he looks, what a horrible person. How disgusting.
I'm sorry, there was a really big crack of lightning when I was muted.
What a horrible person!
Because I was
I
talking
can't
to
force
you,
you to be
Kiliana.
civil, but if you spit on Radovan again, I will break your neck and plead my case to your city.
We're going back to the city.
Yes.
You attack any of us aggressively, you're in a world of shit. Or so. Because I'm not healing you more. And maybe every day Marlo will give you a couple slaps so you stay at the same level of well-being.
Alrighty.
And let's get the fuck out of here.
Alright, so you're going to basically frog march him
It's gonna suck.
all the way
but yes.
back. Well, it took you 2 days to get here by dwarven skiff.
Oh
And
no.
a day from here, so you've got about a 5-day trek.
Great.
Alright, you going to give him any kind of warm clothing so that he doesn't freeze to death before you get
Yes.
back there?
I-
Or?
we're not gonna. He's not gonna
We don't
freeze
want
to
him
death.
dead.
Okay, so you're gonna at least
But we don't
give
want him
him
healthy either, right?
We're,
Like, we
we're already
gotta-
making him like hold a bunch of bars of gold on his back. Real terrible.
all this small chest of gold.
Say we would
Okay.
probably keep him warm enough so he wouldn't die of frostbite or hypothermia, but I don't want him comfortable.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
It's gonna be uncomfortable. Yeah.
Well, just because I don't want to waste a whole bunch of time doing things that aren't fun to do, we're going to say 5 days of arduous travel gets you back to the steps and gates of Cairnemoore. You have to tread your way all the way up that seriously nasty flight of stairs. But eventually, you and your party, including the dwarf, find yourselves in the city of Cairnemoore once more. The dwarf, you notice, is like looking very nervous.
Good.
And almost immediately, as soon as you start dragging him through the gates, other dwarves start screaming, "Oathbreaker! You scum! You bastard!" And they all literally just start losing
Shame.
their shit. Some of them
Shame.
grab rocks and hurl them at him. You
I'm
know,
gonna stir him into the way of the rocks.
okay. And where do you want to take him?
That one wasn't big enough. See that one that you're standing by right there? Pick that one up.
Straight to the
Yeah.
marsh, I guess.
Straight to the hall.
All right. So basically, you march him like Cersei Lannister all the way through the streets of justice.
Naked.
Extend your wrist all the way out when you throw. I'm like over here teaching dwarf
all
kids.
the way up to the great hall with the ginormous golden statue of the dwarf. The guards are there waiting, and as soon as they see him, they're like, and you see him growl, and he goes, "Huh, this'll be a pleasure," says one of them as he walks inside. The other one's like, "Wait there." Shortly afterwards, out from the door comes the the Marshal of the Mountain, Scalfmere Durstock, as he walks over and looks rather surprised, and he says, "Well, well, who do we have here, returned finally to the halls that he once graced? Stolen possessions."
I'm gonna kick him in the back of the knee to make him kneel.
Okay, he drops down. He's, speaking of stolen possessions, did you
Beach
find
him.
anything on him?
Beach him.
Yes. And Beecham pulls out the big bundle and unwraps it and offers it to him, like, still holding it with the cloth and from the farthest end away from the axe head. And he's like,
And
and he picks it up and grabs it in one hand and looks at it. He says, "Ha ha ha, Rannan Strongstorm. You thought you're gonna make off with such an artifact as this? And look at you." He said, "Brought to justice by 2 humans and a pointy-eared elf." 3 humans, says Beecham.
there's also dwarf golds that we have made him carry
Dwarven,
for
yes,
you.
bars. Dwarven gold bars, says Beecham. They are on his back. With that, he's like, "Come here, you!" And he grabs hold of Rannan Strongstone by the scruff of the collar and yanks him like towards the steps. Strongstern spits at him, much like he did Radovan, but he doesn't even wipe it off. He just carries on dragging him into the entryway. As you go through the main kind of like huge big stone doors, it's a very plain stone antechamber with two massive carved stone doors at the other side. He says, "If you wouldn't mind, wait here." And he
Of course.
opens the door just enough to eke through. After about 20 minutes, he comes back. You've noticed that the guards from the outside are now on the inside, poised with their axes, glaring at Ran and Strongstern. And finally, after all of that, he says, "There's somebody that's willing to meet you. Why don't you come inside?
Okay.
Make sure you don't have any weapons. You know, out of scabbards and stuff like that.
Of course.
Don't want to get shot. No sudden movements. And mind your manners.
I will.
And be sure to remember who it is you're talking to. You're about to meet the Lord of the Hall, Organd Ironbeard. He is Lord
Alright.
of all the mountain, and
Yes.
judge, jury, and execution, if needs be. But yeah, I need nothing to worry about that. Come on. And with that, he kind of like drags you in through the main hallway.
Alright. I'll follow him anxiously.
Let me
I
get
will
Not
as
really
well.
sure if I'm ready to meet this guy, but
Alrighty.
it's happening. That's not a good sign. Come on in.
It's an omen.
I feel like my electricity's gonna shut off in like any second.
There you go. Alright. As you enter the massive stone hall, there's huge stone pillars lining either side of it. There are guards in kind of like chainmail with chainmail breastplates wearing some form of noticeable livery, backed up against each pillar, holding an axe and a shield. Scattered between them are dwarves holding heavy crossbows. Behind you, once you've kind of come in and the doors have closed, there's two more with great hammers either side of the door, yet two more crossbows. At the far end of the hall, there's kind of like a cascading stone stairway that leads up from two sides to a raised stone dais. Two more hammerers stand at the foot of those stairs. At the very top, you see a couple of familiar sights. The cleric of Dumathoin, Duingold Cargill, is sitting to the left, and Scaufmere Durstork, Marshal of the Mountain, has walked ahead of you and is now sitting to the right. Sitting in the center, with a huge, big, thick, red beard, sits a massive barrel-chested dwarf. Standing there, kind of like, or sitting there really, leaning forward, curiously staring down the hall towards you. With that, you see him raise one hand and he's like beckoning you forward.
I take a step.
I take a bow and then I walk.
All right.
It's a long hallway. I always hate the awkward moments where we have to stare at each other walking down the hallway.
Well, we've done this before with Marcus Aurelian, remember?
So many. Yeah.
All right. You pushing the dwarf because you still have custody at the moment of
Oh yeah, bringing him with us.
Ran and
Yeah.
Strongstern.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess we'll make it all the way up there.
Yeah, you get to about here, and then the two guards, they just kind of like hold up a hand to instigate, stop.
Mm-hmm.
With that, you see a familiar face. He comes wandering down. Oh, look at that! He went through the. Oh, I know why. Because they're on the wrong layer. Look at that. Let me fix that real quick. Okay. So yeah, the Marshal of the Mountain comes down, walks over, stands in front of you, and says, So, I, Skalfmere Durstock, Marshal of the Mountain, do hereby request that you hand the prisoner who currently belongs to you to me.
Absolutely. Don't want him.
I'm going to give a half bow and do exactly that.
Alright, he says, I thank you for all dwarven kind and those of the city of Cairnemoore. And with that, he kind of grabs hold of him and throws him to the floor. Two of the guards from either side of the pillars come and grab him, and they drag him through this door down the far end of the hallway. And he is taken out of sight. After about 10 minutes, they return, and up until then, there's nothing but awkward silence.
Great.
Eventually, when they do return, Skalfmere Durstock climbs back up the stairs and takes his seat next to his liege, the Lord of the Hall. Once that has happened, after another couple of awkward minutes and a few kind of like knowing glances to the left and to the right as he looks at his companions, the dwarf in the center stands up and walks over to the edge.
I'm going to kneel immediately.
Beecham, seeing you do that, kind of follows suit and also kneels down. With that, you hear a kind of a low, guttural voice say, "There is no need for that."
You immediately get back up.
So,
I never did it. I'm good.
Skalfmere Durstock tells me that you have had fortune to meet some of my kin in the past. Is this true?
That is true, my lord.
And
They
pray,
sought us out.
which member of the Ironbeard family did you have the pleasure of making the acquaintance of?
Cat
Fucking-
Ironbeard.
Ah, yes.
Thank you, Jane. I was going to say the wrong thing.
Were you?
So
I
it
was
is
gonna say
true.
Karen.
You were the ones that assisted with the unfortunate and embarrassing situation with the former prince of the mountains far, far to the southwest.
That was an unfortunate situation.
It is true, yes.
I must confess, until you walked through those doors with the Oathbreaker, I had reason to doubt that that was probable. But after apprehending him, well, it would seem that that is more than likely the case.
It was no
Indeed.
easy.
I thank you,
You're welcome.
and we will now consider you dwarf friends. And with that,
Very much appreciated.
all the hammerers and the axemen down the, all the way down just start bashing their shields with their hammers and axes.
Hey.
And that goes on for about 2 minutes solid. And then almost like it was an exact timed amount, they're like, and they all stop. He
Okay.
says, "So, you have done a great deed for us. I understand you wish to ask for a favor or some kind of request for the Lord of the Hall."
Well, first, we would like to offer a warning about events happening outside of this mountain and this range that are of concern of my friends and myself.
All right, and we will have that discussion next time because it's the end of the show. I would do a dun dun dun, but that really doesn't seem to fit. So instead, I will just say probably this. Kevin. There we go.
Kevin.
Okay.
Diplomacy's
So
a
yeah,
bitch.
we will close things up for this evening. Hi there, I'm Gorbad. Welcome to the Orc's Nest. I'm the Dungeon Master here on How We Roll, and if you'd like to follow me personally, you can do so on Twitter @Gorbad. Check out thedmblog.com for all things Dungeon Master and Dungeons and Dragons related, and of course you can follow me on twitch.tv/Gorbad. Also guys, don't forget to keep up with all things How We Roll, follow us on Twitter @HowWeRoll. Check out the website www.howweroll.com, and make sure you follow us on YouTube as well. Cheers guys!
Shagget here. On How We Roll, I play Radovan Rainier, War Priest of St. Cuthbert, who just so happened to author a new academic book that's coming soon. It's titled Libido Rectification for the Required Propagation of Arconis' Depleted Men-at-Arms, or more affectionately titled Mandate Number 2 and You. You can follow me on Twitter at @neb_convos for upcoming book excerpts, just to get the hype going, push up the sales. Thanks guys.
Hey guys, I'm the Dragon Spooker, and I play Marlo Rayfell, monk and resident badass for How We Roll. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so using @DragonSpooker, or follow my Twitch channel, which I sometimes stream on, twitch.tv/TheDragonSpooker.
Hi, thanks for watching another episode of How We Roll. I am Jane Ivana, and this is my lovely cat, Norman, who really doesn't want to be here right now. You can follow me on Twitter, @JaneOnTwitch with a 0. Shh, don't tell him, he doesn't like birds. No. I stream occasionally on twitch.tv/Jane Ivana, so you can find me there. And I guess that's all we got. You got something to say? Nope. Peace, suckers. Bye.